Where the hell do I start? I feel like it's fair to say without a doubt that Breath of the Wild is one of the most impactful games of recent time. It's definitely left its mark. In fact, I remember for a period of time after release, it seemed like it was the only thing that people were talking about. But now that the hype has died down and we've had a considerable amount of time to look at it, I'd like to ask a few questions. Nothing silly like, is Breath of the Wild actually good? Because come on, it is. But more along the lines of, why is it so ubiquitous? What are its greatest strengths and where does it fail, if anywhere? Damn it, the more I think about it, the more it sounds like a review. But is it? I don't even know. My point being, welcome to GigaBit, the show where we talk about everything that the creator, GigaByte, likes. Let's get on with it. Off the bat, I'd like to say that there's nothing quite like playing this game for the first time. It's completely and totally engrossing. Every little aspect of the world comes together to form a cohesive and breathtaking experience to the point where you question why other games haven't reached the point of solidarity that this game has. And then you play it for the second time, and it's not nearly as engrossing. Sure, you can still appreciate the nuances in the combat and the physics engine and the exploration, but something's missing. And so I'd like to ask, what made this game so addictive the first time around? What I've settled on is this game's initial air of mystery. Stepping out of that cave and seeing this vast open horizon filled with things to do, it just feels so tantalizing and brave and exciting. And that excitement only grows as you explore every inch of every area, finding new things to do and ways to do them. All the way up to the point of completing the game and the DLCs, which is really impressive, but I said it was to a point. Games with vast open worlds are always like this. They're at their best when you don't know what they're going to throw at you. So it's only natural that the second time around you're going to figure out what you love and what you don't even like. And so now I ask, what does the game excel at and where does it fail? Now I'm not going to spend too much time answering that first part because in my mind it's a really easy question to answer. The exploration is great, the physics engine is fantastic, enabling a wonderful amount of varied puzzles, and the combat is simple yet satisfying. You didn't need me to tell you that though, so where does the game fail? Well, that question is a bit more challenging to answer. You see, the game rarely ever fails outright, but more so doesn't reach its full potential. Having spent so much time with the game, I can list off tons of places where this is displayed. For example, think of every 3D Zelda game ever. You have your main quest, and your side quests to complement it. And the side quests are generally such a huge part of the experience. You want to complete the trading quest to get that bigger on sword in Ocarina of Time. You want to get all the masks to get the Fierce City's mask in Majora's Mask. What do you want to do in this game? Not quests! Again, first time around, they may seem okay, but so few quests actually yield anything satisfying. You're either going to get a weapon that's going to break eventually, rupees or materials, like, come on, or armor, and if you're good enough to the game, that's something that you won't really either want or need. There are exceptions, but overall, there's not much that you get from questing that's better than what you can just find out in the world. What about combat? You just said it was simply satisfying. Elegantly so. The addition of perfect dodges and perfect parrying introduces incentive to mastering it, along with the seamless integration of gyro controls for throwing and bowing. It's wonderful. But ask yourself this. Is it challenging? It may be at first, but to me, the answer is a resounding no. Yes, it's wonderful that I'm given such a vast amount of options to tackle the same situation, but there's no need to pick and choose options. Go in silently at night and sneak strike all your enemies? It'll work. Abuse environmental hazards. It'll work. Go in loud as can be. It'll work. It's nice that I'm given options, but considering that I'm incentivized to master combat, I want enemies that make combat challenging and engaging. And yes, I know about Master Mode, and yeah, it's a little better in this regard. It's designed to be a more demanding challenge with higher tier enemies, health regen, extra enemy spawns, and all that jazz. But the enemies are still the same, and they are the problem. Bokelman can only be so interesting. And the bosses, actually, people seem to unanimously agree on this one. They don't stand out much. They're not copy-paste, mind you, but compared to the diverse lineage of bosses that the Zelda series has to offer, they don't stand out much. The dungeons? Again, they don't stand out much. Considering they all follow the same visual design and rely on the tools that you're given at the very beginning of the game, they just sort of meld together. They don't last very long either. The story? Not bad, but not really great either. Of course, you have the stand-up performance of this game's Zelda, being, in my opinion, the most likable in the series. but everyone else just sort of lacks depth. Except for you, Sadon. I love you. But seriously, it just feels detached because the bulk of the game story happens before the game setting. Until the game itself? It's horrible! No, I'm playing. The game is in no way perfect, but if it was actually bad, there'd be nowhere near the amount of people fawning over it today. And so I finally ask, and yeah, there are only 4 questions, what a banger of a video. What made this game so popular? Aside from it being one of the best possible launch titles for any console, period, I feel like it's one of the only open world games that really uses its scope to its advantage. Damn it, I meant scale. Like, sure, there are tons of games in this genre, but their worlds are often so big that they're overwhelming, or they're massive in size but repetitive in content. Breath of the Wild is indeed large, but it manages itself so efficiently. There aren't redundant collectibles that literally do nothing but increase your counter, at least initially. Everything serves a purpose. Around almost every corner is something new to find, and new things to do. In this way, Breath of the Wild keeps you hooked. Man, I don't even know where I'm going with this video anymore. My point being, Breath of the Wild is a fantastic game, but it's by no means perfect. It deserves the praise that it's gotten, but I feel like if Nintendo takes this open world formula and applies it to a new game and refines it, that game will fucking destroy this one. Hey there. Have anything to say about the subject matter of this video? Why not leave a comment down below? Did you like this video? If so, why not like it? And if you really like it, why not subscribe and follow me on my socials, especially my Twitch. We have fun there. What else? There are some videos on the screen. You should watch those. More videos coming in the future. Yeah. That's about it. I don't know. Bye.